Hey parents, welcome to our new Parent Connect newsletter. This is going to be coming to you every single month from our youth team, letting you know about upcoming events that are going to be taking place in Sun City Youth, along with fundraising opportunities and a little insight onto what it is that we're teaching on Wednesday nights. If your student has been coming for a little while to Sun City Youth, then you probably are used to the rhythm that we have inside of our youth ministry. And that's where we have someone preach on one week, we have worship and we have ministry time, and then the following week we still have worship, but we break into small groups, and those are age appropriate, based on gender, so that kids can really talk and get into conversation about what it is that's going on inside of their life. And this month we just started a brand new series called Unfiltered. The whole idea of this series came to us as we were really looking at social media and the spin that everyone's constantly trying to put on their life, and you can create the perfect filter and make your life look like it's something that it's not, and you can frame it in just right and have the perfect lighting and everything looks amazing, but that might not be what's really going on behind the scenes. So really the whole message that we're trying to help students understand inside of this series is that God's called us to a life of authenticity. And we're going back to this verse, which is going to be one of the core verses that we preach about throughout this series and that we talk about inside of our small groups. And it's out of Isaiah 53:2. And it says, "My servant grew up in the Lord's presence like a tender green shoot, like a root in dry ground. There was nothing beautiful or majestic about his appearance, nothing to attract us to him." It's talking about Jesus, right? And inside of this verse, we get this picture of the fact that Jesus wasn't maybe Instagram worthy. He wasn't the person that was flashy and everybody was drawn to him, and yet he had genuine life. Something inside of him that was going to quench the thirst of our souls, that was going to provide salvation for us and the road back to relationship with the Father. And so we're digging deep into this truth throughout this series and helping students understand that this is the God that we serve, and this is also the life that he's called us to. Some things that you can be praying about for your student, for the rest of the students, and even for our youth team as we're going through this series is, first of all, that there would just be a softness inside of students' hearts, that they'd really be able to hear what it is we're saying, and it would go beyond knowledge. It would impact their heart and their spirit, and they would recognize those places inside of their life where maybe they just need to take down the mask, get real, and be genuine and honest about who they are and what it is that they're going through. The second thing would be praying against deception or lies of the enemy. I think this is a vulnerable time inside of students' lives, whether they're in junior high or high school, where it's easy for the enemy to get into their thought life and begin to tell them things that aren't really true. Like, they're comparing themselves with other students, with people that they're watching on social media, and they begin to believe things about themselves and about the rest of the world that isn't always accurate. So be praying against those things specifically, that God would tear down those lies, those things that they've believed about who they are, and that they would really see truth in the light that the gospel presents it to us in. And then thirdly, be praying for your own conversations with your student. We are so privileged and honored to be able to be involved in your student's life. Every one of our small group leaders considers it such an honor to be able to sit down with these kids in a circle and be able to communicate with them and dig into their life a little bit and pray for them. But we know that honestly, the most influence is really in your court. You're the one that spends every day with them. You're the one that sees them in their most vulnerable moments. You're the one that's cheerleading them through every different thing that they're going through inside of life. And so be praying that God would even maybe open the door for conversation for you in this area to be able to talk with your own student about what's going on inside of their life. And know that as you're praying that way, we are also praying for you, praying and believing that God's going to open the door for some great conversations, and that these students, they're going to take steps forward into becoming exactly who it is that God's called them to be. Thank you for trusting us with your student. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free always to contact the youth team, Shalom, our youth director. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, we'll see you again next time.